time. It's time. We change the porch over first. I feel like it's such a just a statement to the family, even the dog. They do it during the day, and then people come home at night, and it's so exciting. I get so much good feedback on the new look each season. On that first day where I change the porch out, I have this old, well, quote old, Salal garland. I had this on my banister last year. It's real and it's dried now, but I'm thinking I want it here on the door. And I see a lot of asymmetry going on with garlands. I feel like that's kind of a trend, at least for this year. You're gonna see a lot of that. So we're gonna just off-center it. All I have are two little nails here from a project. I guess I did Christmas garland here maybe 3 years ago. So that's all. And you can see how I have it just floral. I had made bouquets of it and just wired it together with floral wire, a lot of wire. But I'm going to use this as a base, and then I'm trying to find different pieces off the property, different greeneries that are going to work. And I like to work with probably 4 total of different sizes of leaves, different textures, different shapes. So this is bittersweet. This will be good and kind of wild looking. And I figure for something this size, I'm gonna get 25 little stems. It didn't take me very long. Once I picked my greenery that I wanted, I kind of went around and sampled a bunch of things. So if you have a friend that you could do this with for free, that would be really nice. We have a couple of huge holly bushes. I'm really grateful for these this time of year. So there'll be a teeny little pop of red. And then, of course, I always deep clean, which means I do touch-up painting, I clean windows, I deal with all the cobwebs. All right, I've made my decision on the different greenery that I want to use, and I recommend 4 different types if you're going to be trying to fill out a garland. And if you have a base like I have, I feel like that makes it so much easier. Trying to build it yourself is a whole nother level of advanced DIYing. So if you have one, you can just buy one at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or something, and then add to it. I think that's really the best way to go. And there's 4 different types of leaves that I like to work with. I like a broadleaf. So what I have now, the Salal that I used, this is from last year that I had. I just dried it and stored it. And any type of sort of round or like an oval flat leaf is a good one to have. Also, pay attention to varying your different shades of green. I think that really helps too. So once you have your broadleaf, then get an evergreen. So I'm choosing cedar. I have a lot of cedar on my property. Love cedar anyway. I just think it's so classic and vintage looking. If it's all you have, I would choose cedar. That's to me the very best. Then my third choice is some holly. We have a lot of holly on our property. So I got 25 stems of cedar, 25 stems of holly. And then this is called bittersweet. And I like it because it's kind of twiggy and wild, and I feel like it's gonna bring a really sort of whimsical look to the whole piece. So I have these 3, and I have 25 stems of each kind, and I'm just gonna work these into the Salal garland that I have up on the door. So let's go ahead and do that. The cool thing about this, when you add in pieces into an existing garland, you don't have to wire it. I feel like it's almost like it's Velcro. You just kind of thread it in and it holds it. I kind of had a pattern going here. If this isn't something that you're comfortable with, I know some people are more, I don't know, they feel more comfortable being artistic, but I'm just going kind of on the left side and then the right side, and I'm staggering it every about 4 inches, and then I'll put some maybe in the exact middle of the garland. That's kind of the pattern I'm doing. And then I step back once in a while and decide, you know, is there a bare spot I want to fill in? So I did the cedar first, and now I feel like cedar, because it kind of lays flat, and so it's kind of a good backdrop. Then I'm coming in with my better texture with the holly. It's pretty sharp, so I'm wearing gloves here. But same thing, just, you know, right and left side, back and forth, alternating, and then a little in the middle once in a while. Really building this out. I wanted to feel like kind of like a fairy bower. I even wanted it kind of like hanging into the doorway a little bit, just so the light coming through the porch lights at night would filter and make little shadows, and maybe you had to feel like you had to duck just a tiny bit when you walk through the door. It has a real wedding-esque feel, or kind of a fairy feel. I really like it. I think it's the contrasting textures that are so good. For the urns, I did the holly and the cedar. I just, basically my goal was to cover the dirt, kind of keep the very tips of the stems where I cut them, kind of keep them all together, so it sort of spiraled it all around. Of course, I had to sweep again, clean up my mess. Then I brought in just buckets of bittersweet. They're not even in water. I think it's cold enough that this will work. I added the sled to the wall, and then the fir throw and this church pew that I inherited from an aunt. So really simple, but got good texture, good warmth with the wood. For the final touch, I just thought it would be fun to sprinkle some pine cones around. The dog likes them. I don't know how long they're gonna last, but they're not really in the pathway. I kind of have a like confetti, I feel like. We're basically done with the porch. I'm very happy with it. I'm starting to hone in on more of I'm calling it my Edwardian phase, where I love the sort of Victorian look, but I'm bringing in the masculinity of King Edward, who came after Victoria, if you understand the history of interior design. And so there's a little bit more of a like arts and crafts feel mixed into Victorian, so there's really nice juxtaposition between Victorian, or like a masculine and feminine, that I really like that look. So I'm really trying to do an Edwardian Christmas this year. Everything's kind of wild and free, and so I have just one more thing to do on the porch, and then we are done. I am simply going to add just some ribbon and some bells to the front door, and then I'll show you the final look. We have these, I don't know if they're goat bells or cow bells. I'll link them. I got them on Amazon, and they came in a pack of 10, so I just took 5. You can see that I tied them onto a piece of jute, and they're about maybe 1.5 inches apart. So that's how we're gonna get this look. Then I'm gonna count over 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna pinch right between the second and the third bell, so we have a little bit of a
little bit of an asymmetry going on there, and I'm just gonna hang this on the hook. This hook here is a $5 command strip hook. It's just a plastic thing. I love it though. It's a great solution, especially for holiday decorating. You've got to be using command hooks. And so it's just stuck on the door, and I can pull it off anytime. Then this silver piece goes over the top. We're gonna hang the bells first. I always like bells on the door because you get that little merriment when you open the door each time. Then I have wide velvet or satin ribbon. This is double-sided satin. It's my favorite. And I believe I got this at Ribbon Bazaar. I will link this for you below, the exact one that I'm using. But I have 2 strips here. Let's just do this from the beginning. So I took 2 different strips of this ribbon. Looks like, let's see, a yard. About 2 yards per ribbon. I have 2 of them. We're just going to stack them on top of each other. You can make your tails a little bit off balance, so it's not, you know, so we have some variation at the end there. And then I'm just going to tie this on the hook. Okay. Just like I would do a regular bow. Now, one thing I really like with my bow is to get it a little, I love variety, you know, you want to get some contrast. So you want to pull one of the bows tighter than the other one. So your loops, you've got shorter loops and longer loops. You want your tails to be a little bit different lengths. You want your ears to be a little bit different. Okay, and then you want to cover that hook. You can kind of pull the bells to the front, and I always kind of fan it out like that. And then I'm loving blue velvet ribbon this season. You're going to see it popping up a lot in my decorating. And I love that it just is a little shout out to the color of the door. So we're going to stick this in here wherever we can. Let's see if I come back. Come from behind. The trick is that you want this front piece to be the pretty satin, and then all these other things that you're trying to use as accents, just kind of pull them around to the front and let the tails go behind like that. All right, let's get a good shot here.
really wanted to show you at night. Grabbed my camera and came out. This is where the magic happens. I love all the shadows and the light filtering through. This is going to be a great 2023